To keep your typical sequel expectations in check, it's probably best to think of Hitman 2 as Season 2 of the 2016 revival. It doesn't have many new features, but it does deliver all 6 of its clever murder sandboxes at once. The huge variety of options for pulling off stealthy kills makes playing and replaying them a majorly satisfying draw. Beyond that, though, Agent 47 barely gets any new toys to play with, and the story around it is just embarrassing on multiple levels. Unlike most games, which love to send you to outlandish and exotic places, Hitman works best when you're taking down targets in the most relatable, everyday environments possible. Everyone remembers Hitman Blood Money's classic clown at the birthday party mission. Similarly, Hitman 2's mundane suburban Vermont and dense Mumbai slums missions are the standouts. The former has you doing a bit of home invasion in between wandering the quiet neighborhood, while the latter's 3 objectives are so spread out that it really feels like you're wandering a packed city with a wealth of ways to accomplish your mission. By contrast, the finale takes place on a ludicrous Bond meets Eyes Wide Shut island of cultists, which borders on the comical.
Its plutocratic members fear the downfall of civilization, and they are willing to pay huge sums to ensure their own survival.
Hitman 2's sandboxes are as full of gadgets and disguises as ever. And I mean exactly as full. There are only a handful of new weapons, and none of them are game changers. But it is genuinely impossible to see and do everything a mission offers in one playthrough. Side stories tell little tales within the framework of the larger story if you overhear their details.
You know the exterminator guy who was working on Batty's house?
Same guy who just did Cassidy's, right?
Yeah.
I really enjoyed these playable novellas, and some of them are even time limited. If you don't trigger them quickly enough, the moment of opportunity passes and they expire. A highlight was when I impersonated the corpse in a cult's funeral ritual and then sat up and stabbed my target in the neck as she paid her last respects. You also unlock new item drops, starting points, and other sandbox-altering perks when you play the missions in a certain way, so that the next time you go back in, the replayability is both built in and actively encouraged. Even the difficulty levels change the gameplay parameters.
Take care of it yourself, understand?
Yes, Mr. Rangan. Thank you.
Bloody idiot.
Hitman 2 doesn't just ask for your patience, it demands it. The slightest failure can completely ruin your entire mission, but smartly deployed autosaves as well as manual saves mean you never lose too much progress unless you're on the highest difficulty. It can still get frustrating to fail over and over, but you have to remember that there are so many choices in any given level that you can completely change your approach if something isn't working. That said, Hitman 2, as smart as it usually is, can sometimes be really stupid when the AI goes wonky. In Vermont, I hid in the bathroom of a heavily guarded house, overflowed the sink, and then cleaned out a dozen or so dim-witted goons who just kept coming to investigate the distraction one at a time. It was funny, but it's hard to feel good about winning that way. Then again, the opposite happens when a murder you've been working up to for hours finally pays off. It feels fantastic. The final escapade took me 3 hours, and it was totally worth it. And I love the last bit of tension added by the fact that you have to make it to one of several escape points after the final kill, and some will be locked if you don't have the right key or disguise. Annoyingly, the storyline that ties Diana and Agent 47 into these missions is not only absurdly dumb, it's also poorly presented. Cutscenes are just narrated storyboards. This low-budget attempt to explore 47's backstory is as bad as the 2007 Hitman movie starring Timothy Olyphant, and all I wanted was to get back to garroting some goons. Meanwhile, the Sniper Assassin mode returns with tons of customizable scenarios to further increase replayability, and Ghost multiplayer is brand new. It's 1v1 in parallel realities, so you mostly can't interact with your rival. And while it is novel, its fast pace feels out of sync with the rest of Hitman 2's deliberate hunts. Developer IO says we'll also see more of Hitman's excellent elusive target missions, including one where we'll get to join countless TV and film characters by killing Sean Bean.
Hey, are you with the production? Hey, अबे यार, has anyone seen this Joker before?
Hitman 2 doesn't add much of note and feels more like Hitman 1.5. But by offering more of the deepest, fullest stealth sandbox in gaming in one single package rather than 6 episodic ones, it earns its keep. The inclusion of Hitman 2016 is a bonus for those that didn't catch the reboot initially. Here's hoping they put more effort into the plot next time. For more on Hitman, check out our review of the 2016 version of the game, and for much more on all things video games, keep it tuned right here to IGN.